Mexican drug cartels are more than just criminal organizations. They are powerful entities. They threaten the safety and security of both Mexico and the United States. Their reach extends far beyond drug trafficking. They are involved in human smuggling, arms trafficking, and cybercrime. These activities destabilize the region. They undermine the rule of law. They pose a direct threat to American citizens. The cartels are becoming increasingly sophisticated. They have established deep networks in the United States. They use these networks to move drugs, weapons, and people across the border. This infiltration makes it more difficult to combat their activities. It also makes it easier for them to corrupt U.S. institutions and officials. Ignoring this problem will not make it go away. The cartels are a clear and present danger. They must be confronted with strength and determination if we want to protect our nation and our citizens. The United States must take decisive action to dismantle these criminal networks and bring their leaders to justice. Former President Donald Trump recognized the threat posed by Mexican cartels. He took a hard line against illegal immigration. He argued that it was a key enabler of cartel activity within the United States. Trump's policies focused on securing the border. He also cracked down on sanctuary cities. These policies were aimed at making it more difficult for cartels to operate within U.S. borders. Trump's approach was controversial. Critics argued that it was inhumane and ineffective. However, his supporters maintained that it was necessary. They believed it was the only way to protect American citizens from the dangers posed by unchecked illegal immigration and the cartels it empowers. Whether one agreed with Trump's methods or not, it was undeniable that he brought the issue to the forefront of national debate. He forced a conversation about the complex relationship between illegal immigration, cartel activity, and national security. This conversation continues to be relevant today. The Trump administration introduced a military strategy to address Mexican cartels. This plan aims to dismantle the cartels' operations. By utilizing military resources, the strategy seeks to reduce cartel influence. The plan includes fortifying border security to prevent illegal crossings. Many believe that this approach will safeguard American communities. Experts assert that a strong stance against cartels will impact national security. The military option is viewed as a move to weaken cartel power. Analysts argue that this approach addresses the threat posed by these criminal organizations. The Trump administration maintains that its approach is necessary. They argue that it is possible to secure the border while also addressing cartel operations. Even critics of Trump, myself included, acknowledge that his military option is a step to address the cartel issue and national security. Section 4. The stakes are high. Cartels, crime, and national security. The stakes in this debate are high. Mexican drug cartels pose a direct threat to the national security of the United States. They are responsible for smuggling vast quantities of drugs into the country. This fuels addiction, crime, and violence in American communities. The cartels also traffic weapons across the border. These weapons end up in the hands of criminals and gangs. This further exacerbates violence and instability. It undermines the rule of law. The cartels are also involved in human trafficking. They exploit vulnerable migrants seeking a better life. They subject them to horrific conditions. They often force them into prostitution or forced labor. These activities are morally reprehensible. They demand a strong response. Section 5. A secure future. The need for strength against cartel infiltration. The United States cannot afford to ignore the threat posed by Mexican drug cartels. The Biden-Harris administration must take a strong stance against these criminal organizations. This includes securing the border, cracking down on cartel finances, and working with the Mexican government to dismantle these groups. Ignoring or downplaying the problem will only make it worse. The cartels are a cancer. They must be eradicated if we want to protect our communities and our way of life. We need strong leadership and a clear strategy to confront this challenge head-on. The safety and security of the United States depends on it. We must act decisively and with unity to protect our nation from this growing threat. Section 6. Voices of the Future. Christian students in Wisconsin are speaking out after Vice President Kamala Harris told them they were at the wrong rally. The incident occurred during a recent event where Harris was addressing a crowd. The students, who were there to voice their concerns, felt dismissed and disrespected by the vice president's comments. This has sparked a debate about the treatment of young activists and the importance of listening to diverse voices in political discourse. Young activists, like these students, represent the future of political engagement. Their voices, though sometimes challenging, are crucial for the evolution of our societies. Dismissing them can lead to greater disillusionment and disengagement from the political process. Instead, we must encourage open dialogue and respect for differing perspectives. The incident serves as a reminder that in the pursuit of a secure and just future, we must not only confront external threats, but also nurture a culture of inclusion and respect within our own political landscape. Listening to and valuing the input of young activists can lead to more comprehensive and effective solutions to the challenges we face. As we move forward, let us remember that true strength lies not just in our ability to act decisively against threats, but also in our willingness to listen, learn, and grow together as a nation. The pair were shouting, "Christ is King" and "Jesus is Lord," while getting shoved by some of the rallygoers. Eventually, Vice President Kamala Harris paused her speech and trolled them. "You guys are at the wrong rally," she needled to raucous applause from the crowd. "I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street." The moment went viral on social media. John 15:19-20. If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. Remember what I told you. A servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will persecute you also. This incident not only highlights the clash between differing ideologies, but also underscores the importance of respectful dialogue. While Vice President Harris's comment was met with applause, it also sparked a conversation about the treatment of young activists and the need for inclusivity. In a world fraught with division, moments like these remind us of the power of words and the impact they can have on individuals and movements. As we navigate the complexities of our political landscape, let us strive to foster an environment where all voices, especially those of young activists, are heard and respected.